Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, everyone. Trusting all are safe and well and extending a virtual rose and love from a distance. Welcome, Facebook. Happy Saturday, Bernard Smith. And happy December. I wasn't able to say that earlier this week because I've been ripping and running. But again, to those that did not receive my message of thanks, hopefully you receive it now. Thank you to all that have wished me and continue to send happy birthday wishes because I have been pseudo, if you will, celebrating all week and will continue throughout the weekend. So Team Sagittarius is in the house. Happy Saturday, Tampa Supreme, and welcome. How are you doing on this bipolar weather Saturday? Trusting you are doing well. And I want to send out an early, and let me make sure I can get this in here. Happy birthday to Bug Life Manning. Happy birthday. I remembered. My memory, among other cognitive skills, are impeccable. So happy birthday, Bug Life Manning. Be safe and enjoy, sir. And those they might see him around, if you see him around, make sure that you wish him as well a happy birthday. Again, I just wanted to come on really quickly because normally I do, but this week has been hectic. But it's a brand new week, brand new day, and we all should be thankful for that. Really quickly, I have on my agenda, I believe today, a trivia night. And depending upon how much I'm able to get finished, if the weather will allow, that will go on. If not, I'll change it, but ample time will be given. I normally do these twice a month, and I would like to do one early in December and then another towards the end of December. And then tomorrow will be my week 13 NFL picks and predictions. And I know I've seen a lot of articles and opinions expressed upon a picture that has resurfaced in reference to Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones. And again, all opinions are welcome. Disagreements or perhaps different perspectives are also welcome. But I implore you, those that are up in arms about that, there are a lot more that are guilty of the same things, including my hometown, the District of Columbia. I would ask that you look in to the past and present of the formerly known Washington Redskins, the Washington football team, and now the Washington Commanders. And the owner, Daniel Snyder. And I'll leave that little nugget right there for you all to look into if you choose to do so. Second up, there are a lot of people that enjoy the holiday season. Michael Wallace, happy Saturday to you. Namaste. Paul D. Long time, we need to catch up. But thank you also for joining. Facebook is showing up and showing out. Thank you. As I was saying, there are many people that celebrate this holiday season, others don't. Honestly, for me, it's these last 2 months, honestly, have been difficult because my mother was extremely festive. And yes, I said was past tense. Hold on for a second. You know who they are. Don't play with me, Michael. We're the ones that are getting ready to go to the Super Bowl. Don't play with me. But this month is going to be extremely difficult as well. Andrea, happy Saturday and happy December. So keep in mind the ones that is difficult if they are experiencing loss or grief. And my mom has been gone 22 years, and I swear it seems like just yesterday. And the funny thing is, I can still remember her telephone number and find myself at times getting ready to pick up the phone and dial the number, and I'll have to stop myself because I know there won't be an answer on the under end. Oh no, Blackbird has resurfaced. Stop it, Blackbird. Don't ruin the end of my birthday weekend. Please wait until Monday. But remember, Thug Life Manny's birthday is today. See, Michael, you're getting ready to show your hind parts, but it's okay. So again, that tree is one of my mother's favorites that you see in the background. And number one, it just brings back memories, and I have to program myself to stay in the festive mood just so I won't fall into a depression. Thanksgiving, again, was the same way. I didn't even feel like cooking. I think I threw a couple of things together, maybe ate a couple of bites. That was it. I watched the football game. That kind of got me out the mood a little bit, but yeah, it's happy for many, but then there are others, it may not be the same. So just keep that in mind. And speaking of which, there are a lot of people that are or did participate in the Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And this is just my thoughts and opinions, you are paying attention to everything that's going on in the world. And that's really important, in the world. Please be mindful of your spending. I'm vegan, and the last time I went into the natural food store, not even a gallon, I believe it was 32 ounces of, what was it? I think it was cashew milk. And I make a lot of these on my own, but due to time constraints, it's sometimes not possible for me to do so. It's almost $5 now. So those who are buying gifts, oh, thank you, Lake and Kisses. Welcome. Welcome, and thank you for becoming a new member. And with that, Lake and Kisses, make sure that you drop your information in the chat so those can go to your page and check you out, and you may walk away from a couple of subs. So again, welcome, Lakin Kisses. And your live yesterday had me in stitches. I'm not walking like Fred Sanford today. Speaking of which, Michael Wallace, I'm going to have to get with you to send you a couple of photos. But everyone, this is my good buddy right here, Mr. MPD. So, as I said, you don't know sometimes who may pop up in the chat. So be careful of what you may say. But yeah, Michael, I wasn't walking like Fred Sanford this morning, even though it was raining by the time I came in about 1 something this morning. I jumped into a couple of chats, and I'm not going to go into too many details at this time, but interesting, both of them. But again, thank you, Lakin. Make sure before you leave that you put your link right down here in the chat so people can check you out, because again, that was extremely funny. I was on the road, and then I had to run into the pharmacy to pick up some meds, and that's why I'm not in bad shape today. So again, thank you for that laugh. And everyone, remember, laughter truly is, in my opinion, free medicine that we all can heal from if we allow ourselves to do that. Blackbird says, happy birthday, Thug Life Manning. Thank you for holding it down as always. Yes, indeed. Thug Life Manning. So prayerfully, he is in great spirits and will cherish this day and the love he receives for now and many, many more. But back to spending. Everyone be mindful of that as well. When I went into the pharmacy and then the market yesterday, slowly mandates are beginning to go up again, at least in the Maryland area. And it doesn't matter if you've been medicated or not. Mask mandates are coming back, as well as the uptick in cases. And again, I'm not going into a lot of detail, but we all know this is a time of year where many, many, many are traveling out of state and some coming in. It's cold and flu season, not to mention the monkeypox virus that is still going on, and other issues such as water alerts, where some states have put out these alerts where you should boil your water. So it is very important that if you have not already, and this is something that I spoke about a while ago and will continue with King BJ on the Seeds of Life podcast, where it is very imperative that everyone, if you haven't already, have a plan together for any type of emergency event. We are in December. I'm not sure where everyone is that's coming on here, where you are on the globe, and for those who catch the replay, but The weather changes often. As a matter of fact, one of my mods, I believe, is way out in Washington State, I believe, and it was snowing the other day. And then 2 days before that, it was raining. So again, make sure your immune system is intact. Some things you're not going to be able to avoid, but there are things you can, or at least try to help along. Your immune system, as we know, is in the gut, stomach area. What you put in should come out. And being older, wiser, if you will, and experienced, you should be a regular, meaning if you have 2-3 meals a day, if you don't have any release, that's something I personally would raise an eyebrow with. There has been reports of pounds of waste that could be just sitting there and you don't even know. So it's good to have not only a spiritual, but also a physical cleansing, whether that be with teas, big, fresh, green, leafy vegetables, and fruits. And again, I mentioned I'm a vegan. I don't push that on anyone. You do what's best for you and your families. And for those that are into supplements, which include herbal teas, again, to be prudent and responsible, it would behoove you to consult with your physician before you consume anything, because if you do have an underlying health condition, perhaps you may not even know that you do. It would be best if you speak to your physician before trying anything new. Again, I am doing all natural, and it has helped me. I'll just say it's helped me tremendously. Nothing more than prayer and having faith, but clean eating for me has helped me extremely, extremely, to the point where, honestly, had it not been for the combination of those things I just mentioned, I would not have seen age 54 and can still get around as well as I do. So again, just because you may get a bad report, sometimes if you have the belief in the Creator, which I do and always have, even though I may jump out the bag every now and again, the Creator can do what man cannot. And keep in mind about Big Pharma as well. Some medications are Band-Aids, and we all know what that means. They're a temporary fix, but unfortunately, some of them can cause more damage in the future. So keep that in mind as well. Let me see what Blackbird. I'm sorry, I'm peeping away. Hey, Facebook, thank you all. You all are really showing up and showing out. I see you with the hearts and likes and no laughter right now. I guess because you were wrong about my football picks. But anyway, Blackbird says sometimes fat, and he put quotes in that, is just built up waste. Detox. Absolutely, Blackbird McKnight. And sometimes that can cause a lot of damage. I've heard of stories where people have actually passed away from that. Oh no, Lake and Kisses. I'm sorry to hear about that. Hopefully, you can get something to help alleviate that pain. I don't know if you have been to the dentist yet. You may have an abscess. I'm not sure. I don't know if you're taking anything for it, but prayers for healing and restoration goes your way, Lake and Kisses. I know how that feels, and I had one so bad. One day they wanted to do a root canal. I told that dentist, no, take that out now. And he did. I can't stand a toothache. That, and to me, a migraine is one of the worst pains there, including backaches, even though I haven't really experienced backaches, but a toothache, yes. And we were coming back from some type of, what was that? Oh, we had to do a case way down in South Carolina. So can you imagine having a toothache and coming back almost 10 hours driving? I think I went through a bottle of Advil and it made me so sick on my stomach, and it would alleviate the pain for maybe a half an hour and then it will come right back in. So that's how I knew there wasn't abscess. As soon as I got back home, that bad boy was pulled out. So again, Lakin, prayers to you. Hopefully you can find something to alleviate that. I don't know if you can put a clove there, peroxide maybe, to swish around the area. I don't know. Call your dentist to make sure that whatever you do doesn't interact with anything else that may be going on. MG 707, happy Saturday to you, and happy December. Medication is a money game for the healthcare system. You're absolutely right, and that's something I was going to touch on really quick before I get out of here. I have a couple of jobs I need to do because I do have a couple of entrepreneurships that I'm doing. I just had it. But yes, I wanted to touch over a couple of things, but you're absolutely right, Blackbird. Medication, big pharma, huge, huge, huge revenue for the healthcare system. And again, if you are woke and observant, that's probably the word I should use. If you pay attention, the buildings that, at least in my area, and Amelia, happy Saturday to you, and happy December. A lot of the buildings that are going up, Sick'em Dogs, happy Saturday and happy December to you. A lot of the buildings that are going up are mega churches and clinics and pharmacies. Not only in the affluent areas, but impoverished areas. There are certain places, as soon as you pass M&T Stadium in Baltimore, where on every corner you will see little mom and pop pharmacy shops just coming up. And also you're seeing these mega churches coming up. So use your critical thinking skills and put two and two together. The answers shouldn't be that difficult. Now, what I wanted to speak about really quickly, and again, I had it queued up. There were two articles I wanted to reference. And I had it right before I went on. One was current, and one is still current, but a little bit dated, but it still holds true. Now this one is older, and this isn't the one I was looking for, but it's in reference to the term permanent underclass. And in this particular article, and I'll put the link at the end of this broadcast. And again, these are just opinions, and this came from New York Post. It says almost half of America could become the new permanent underclass. And again, this particular article was dated, but basically, and I'm going to paraphrase, that most of the unforced error in Hillary Clinton calling half of Trump supporters a basket of deplorables is possibly her most misguided. And this goes on to say that according to the Census Bureau, U.S. households gained 5.2% in income, and this was back in 2015, and they claim that was the largest increase since the Bureau began reporting this data in 1967. That is nothing. Then it goes on to say, like a lot of people on the left, Hillary seems to want to put Trump on the phenomenon of racial anxiety. Now, most of you should have known or should know what an underclass is. So I don't need to go through with that. But again, this is dated, and the important piece I wanted to extrapolate from that is where it highlighted racial anxiety. Dr. Claud Anderson, I'm sure many of you have heard of him. Maybe you haven't. He has written books, and he has also spoken on the permanent underclass. And I want to try to pull a quote really quickly. Again, this is strictly impromptu. I didn't mean to go into it. I did want to speak about spending, because a lot of people, not all, but many, will go overboard in spending during the holidays, and come first part of the year, or perhaps February, finances are through the roof and they're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And again, you've got to look, you have to learn how to conceptualize and really look at the invisible fine print, if you will. And that's the problem. Many of us do not. Not saying all, but many of us do not look at that. And if you are already in the negative, why put yourself deeper in debt to impress others? And unfortunately, and if this doesn't apply, let it fly. That's what many people do. They have this impulse spending ilk within. People don't care, and people realize somebody actually knows you and your situation. So all of that flexing that some of you do, it isn't worth it in the end. So in 1995, Claud Anderson, Dr. Claud Anderson, spoke about African Americans being a permanent underclass. And again, I may go live and speak about this more, but as I said, in 1995, and again, I'll put this in the link, or the links in the description. Dr. Claud Anderson, who is a scholar, brilliant man, issued, if you will, what I would liken to a apocalyptic warning that African Americans from the economic spectrum, rich, poor, or middle class. And this is what he said: act quickly or face irreversible financial decline. Again, I repeat that. And again, keep in mind, this was 1995 when this article and his statement in reference to too big for skinny jeans. Good afternoon. That was an awesome live with D. Jarrell last night. I saw a couple of lives, and I'm telling you, I did not begin to get a wink of sleep until 5 in the morning, but I am up and refreshed. So, happy Saturday to you, and happy December. But back to the article. Dr. Anderson, Claud Anderson, and again, I will put that in the links. And again, any content creators that are in here, make sure you put your links right down here in the chat so people can go ahead and sub up to you. We like to have positive energy here and truly support one another, as did Miss Lake and Kisses right here. She's not feeling too well, so make sure you send prayers her way, not only just healing, but restoration, so she can be made whole. And Lake and Kisses is my first member. Memberships here begin at 99 cents. That's less than a cup of coffee, because my next interviews coming up will be for members only. And for those that have been following for a bit, I've had on the Honorable Judge Joe Brown, which he was on for my birthday. And his barbecue sauce is my first sponsor. And then I've had the great Papa Duck twice as well. And his merchandise is my second sponsor. So I am truly pleased about those blessings. Andrea said, I'm honored my children are grown. Holidays never meant much to me, even as a kid, but kept a smile on my kids' faces. Absolutely, Andrea. So I'm keeping this so-called tradition alive for basically the spirit of my mom and others that I see that may appear to be down, because I don't like to bring others down when I'm not feeling in the greatest of moods. I may not come on because it's just, you don't want to basically rain on someone else's parade. So I'm not going to do that. Absolutely, Amelia. Make sure you all greet everyone, give everyone well wishes. But back to this very important issue about a permanent underclass. And again, keep in mind this article is dated 1995. And if you look at the time frame, we are now in 2022. We have had change, but not much. So, Dr. Anderson stated, as what many may deem as an apocalyptic warning for African Americans from an economic spectrum, rich, poor, or middle class. Act quickly or face irreversible financial decline. I would like to know, and you can leave this in the comments. Like I said, I'm not going to be on here long, but it's just something that I want people to think about as they're rushing through the stores or perhaps ordering like crazy on Amazon, to think about your financial future, and not just for you, but for those coming behind you. We unlock. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday and happy December. Welcome. Again, content creators, make sure you put your links right here so people can go check you out and sub up. Further, Black Americans had only a few brief years to bring about changes that have never been attempted before. And the middle class must assume much of the responsibility for carrying them out. Time, according to Dr. Claud Anderson, is running out. And for those who are on the broadcast with the Honorable Judge Joe Brown, when he spoke about the school loans, he mentioned about $125,000 income. Absolutely, Blackbird. And he spoke on that as well. 125,000 may look like a huge purse to many on paper, but when you take in consideration of everything that may come out of that, and with the rising prices, unless you have investments, and I am extremely happy to say that I purchased my first home just at the age of 30. Now, I am no longer there because of personal reasons, but Joe ain't no dummy. I still have ownership in that. So nothing that includes refinancing or anything else can be done without my John Hancock. So keep that in mind, people. If you all ever go through a split, and it doesn't matter who leaves and what the reason or reasons may be, just because you're not paying on the mortgage, the deed. Now, let me put that in the chat. The deed and how it is written is extremely important, because if you are not on that deed and if it's not written properly, you have no dog in the fight. And see, unfortunately, hey there, the word. Happy Saturday and happy December. You have no dog in the fight, but see, sometimes when you're greedy and you're doing things that you shouldn't do, and you have other people that's in your ear who, if you put their brain in a parakeet, the bird would fly backwards. You make stupid decisions. So I'm not responsible for that mortgage, but half of that home is still mine. And it is, oh my God, the equity is off the charts. So I'm good and extremely happy. Absolutely. Again, people don't look at the fine print, and some people don't know. And if I wanted to be petty and cause issues, and again, peace, having peace in your life, to me, you can't put a price tag on that. I could have been ugly, but I had, now, me rewind. I had to really think long and hard and pray on that. And as I said, I positioned myself in a way that, as I said, you can't do anything without my signature. And trust and believe, I have an alert in the event something happens. So you cannot, and you're on the deed with someone, you can't refinance, you can't pull any money out the home, you cannot do anything unless that other person signs on there. And knowing what I do, they're not going to do that at all, because we would be in front of the court lickety split. See, I don't play games like that at all. So again, I'm not responsible for the mortgage. And that was another stupid mistake. And see, this is the problem. When people are in your ear and they don't understand certain things, they sometimes lead you down a path and you end up paying the piper, literally. So I'm not responsible for that. And I still have 50% ownership in that property, where the equity, as I said, is off the charts. So I believe, and this is how evil some people can be. Some people may think because if you're ill or have fallen on bad times, that's it. And they're just waiting for you to be placed 6 feet under. That hasn't happened. As a matter of fact, I'm doing better health wise than they are. And as we grow older, you got to keep in mind, how can I put it? Early onset diabetes is nothing to play with, and it's harder to fight when you're older. My cousin's high school classmate just passed away Monday, as a matter of fact. Unfortunately, the young lady had all 10, hear me, all 10 of her toes amputated. D. Dorrell, welcome. How are you, sir? Happy Saturday and happy December. So, as I was saying, all 10 toes amputated. So again, we as a community, we as people everywhere, we need to really start looking at nutrition. We speak about a lot of things. Again, we like to talk about entertainment, but we need to start thinking about nutrition and becoming more healthy, because contrary to what some people believe, and I'm looking right outside now, there is a man adjacent to me. He must be at least 72 years young. He rides his bicycle every day. Now, I used to run track. I used to do gymnastics. Some of you all know that I can still do certain things at the age of 54. But I can tell you one thing I can't do. I can't ride a bike as long as this man can. He plays football with his grandson. I'm not sure what happened to the parents, but he's basically raising his grandson, and a lot of older people are living longer. Their diets are completely different. A lot of us, we're not eating the way that we should. We're definitely not exercising the way that we should. No, we all may not have a state-of-the-art gym in our homes. Actually, I could put equipment downstairs and my yoga mat and my little weights actually are, but if I wanted to invest in more, I could. But there are things that you can do inside your home to exercise daily, even if it's just 30 minutes. CDs, or matter of fact, I'm not sure if it's on social media or not, but you can get access to workout music or yoga, or you can do planks. God, I hate planks, but they will help you with that Teletubby middle. And I can, like I said, I have little abs, but they're hiding. They're hiding behind a half an inch of a Teletubiness, if you will. But still, keep in mind, I went from a 22, 24 down to a comfortable 10, but a tight as you know what, 8. And I'm still maintaining. And no, it's not easy. And as I said, as we get older, when that weight comes on, it's easy to come on. But trying to get it off, unless you have an extremely blessed metabolism, is very difficult. So again, content creators that have just come in, please make sure that you put your links in this chat so that people can go and sub up to you. D. Durrell had a fire live last night. I was actually driving D. Durrell, and I was like, whoa, but it was really interesting. There was actually two, D. Durrell, King BJ, and another one that I'm not going to mention right now, but that might still be going on. I don't know, but um, good information that was disseminated. But again, diet, as Blackbird and many others said, is extremely important. Again, not just your physical diet, but your mental diet as well. Because, again, I am not putting a stain, if you will, on Big Pharma, but I will say, in my personal case, there are some medications that do more harm in the long run than good. So that is why I really try to stay with natural healing. And on one of the lives I listened to last night with King BJ, also, just his brain is just brilliant. There are, if some of you are not aware of it, oh, that's good. Blackbird said the word. I get to see your lives while I'm getting ready for work. Thank you, Blackbird, for supporting the word. Yes, D. Jarrell, I was laughing, but it was good information because, again, we wouldn't know certain things unless we tap in. And your audience was extremely engaging. But the thing I wanted to say and couldn't because I was driving, the very things that you were talking about as far as behavior and males and how people purport to have certain things. I wanted to say this is like deja vu. That is going on right now. And that is why I said I'm too big for skinny jeans. That's why I had that big look on my face like, are you serious? That is the same thing, the exact same thing that's being mirrored right now. You know, people talking about how much they make, this, that, and the third. But what are you saving? What are you saving for yourselves? What are you saving for your family members? Which brings me to really quickly, if you are at my age, actually, let me drop it down about 10 years. If you in your, say, let me drop it down 15 years. If you are 40 or higher, depending upon your family structure, this is a time in your life where you're going to start experiencing family members, whether it's extended or immediate, starting to get ill or, God forbid, they're no longer here. Those are expenses some of us don't speak of. I can't tell you, I'm going to say hundreds of people that I have heard, and the few that I know for a fact that had to do GoFundMe because they didn't have insurance when that time comes. And let's be honest, we're born, just like the Honorable Judge Joe Brown said, and it's inevitable we will expire. We have to learn that all of these interworking pieces need to be in place when those times come up. No, it's not pleasant, but it is a part of life. And there is, to me, nothing more stressful to having to be faced with not having the funds to properly say your final goodbyes. And my mom did not, and this is true, have a quote unquote formal education. But I tell you what, when we had that talk, and I used to get so angry with her. I mean, I was livid. And I would tell her, Mama, I don't want to have this conversation. And then she would cuss me out and tell me she didn't give a F what I didn't want to hear. It is something that I needed to know, because when the time comes, I would know exactly what to do. So she showed me her little gray safe where exactly it was, what all the paperwork was, and what needed to be done. So when she passed 22 years ago, everything was there. Everything was paid. Um, in fact, both my brother and myself, ours is already paid for. Her tombstone, and of course I was a little bit extra. I had it engraved. I had a poem in the back. All of our photographs are on there. She loved frogs. It's black mahogany. That was like 10 grand. There was enough and then some to pay for all of that. So just because you may not go to Harvard or any of the Ivy League schools, if you know how to manage your money, and she always said, it is not what you make, it is what you save. That's a lesson learned, people. Lesson learned, people. I don't have to do anything else other than take my last breath. That's paid for. She knew exactly what she was doing. And I applaud her for that. And a lot of my fight when I don't feel well is to pay homage to her for the lessons that she taught. So again, people like to rag on older people. No, your elders are full of knowledge and wisdom if you take the time to listen. She had checkbooks and everything is automated now. She knew how to balance that checkbook down to the penny. I've got to use a calculator, and sometimes my fingers, and I'm still wrong on my mathematics. I'm more of a writer. My math skills are horrible. Hers were impeccable. And again, she just had wisdom. She was a Gemini. She would speak on things which sometimes I found to be eerie, because a lot of times in less than 24 hours, those things will come to pass. And now I feel like some of that is rubbed off on me, and it's scary in a way. It's almost like a gift, but like a curse, because I don't like darkness. I don't. But we can't control that. So DeJarell, I think, speaks on that as well. His platform is extremely diverse, but again, conceptualize. Get your, as a matter of fact, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to start my vision board for 2023. Positive affirmations are extremely important. Again, saving, investing, having ownership in something, having your name in something, and not letting obstacles stand in your way. And I can proudly say I've done those things, I've accomplished those things. So sometimes you can actually defy the odds, but you have to put your daggone feet to the ground. and grind is not going to fall into your lap. You got to get out there and do the work. Let me check these comments real quick. But again, Dr. Claud Anderson, and that's something I would like to speak about. It won't be today. I doubt it'll be tomorrow, but soon, on what people think. And you're welcome to leave your comments and thoughts after this, what you think about African Americans, blacks, coloreds, whatever colloquialism you want to place on us. Do you think we are in a permanent underclass due to socioeconomic barriers that may have been placed or by design, or we may be placing ourselves? Blackbird, really appreciate you. I'm still learning how to work everything. I'm getting better at it. Appreciate your support. Absolutely, the word. I see you have excellent topics. D. Durrell, a lot of fronting on YouTube and can't pay their bills. Absolutely, D. Durrell. As I said, it's a lot I could say, but I don't need to. I don't want to magnify anyone else. I don't think it's fair, but I hope that those that may be living vicariously through others will soon come to understand that at the end of the day, you have to be happy with yourself. I learned the hard way by sometimes being kind to others and giving. When you truly fall on hard times, those are the same people that will truly give you their backsides to kiss. And I'm not into that again. It's not going to happen. When I give, it's from the heart. It's not a lot because I can't do for any others if I can't do for myself. And if you do not like what I have to offer, which is mostly conversation, nuggets, and perspectives from the guests that come on my panel, then my apologies. There are millions of people on social media where you can get your fix of what it is you choose to consume virtually. And that is not being mean at all. It's just being truthful because you can't please everybody. You should never have that mindset of trying to please everybody because it's never going to happen. You can strive. It's not going to happen. If you look in the world of entertainment and those that have lost their lives, unfortunately, it's been at the hands of people that they either thought were their homies or homegirls or associates. So please keep that in mind. The word says, yes, in the last couple of years, my wife lost her mom and dad. I'm sorry, the word, my condolences. I sold life insurance, but neither of them bought it, but we were able to send the both off. Well, congratulations. Again, that is something, it's uncomfortable to talk about, but life situations aren't always comfortable. And these are conversations that need to be had. So thank you for sharing that and being transparent. And let's see if anyone, let's see. Absolutely. KB Magic, happy Saturday and happy December. How are you? Praying you are well. Doug Life Manning, happy birthday. Thank you, the word. Happy birthday. Put it in the chat again. Birthday, Thug Life Manning. See, I remembered. I'm not just getting older, I'm getting wiser. Thug Life Manning. Everyone wish Thug Life Manning a happy birthday. And see, I'm not going to dog you today. Tomorrow, that's another story, Thug Life. So enjoy that. I'm not sure about the little big Nate thing, so I'm going to let that one go. Yes, the word. All of them drop gems. And again, those with open minds should enjoy those as well. I'm glad and welcome. Again, content creators, make sure you drop your links in this chat so others can go sub up. And just as, let me find hers. Lake and Kisses, congratulations to her. She's my first, well, since my memberships are back, she's my first one. And they start at 99 cents because my next interview is coming up. I'm going to start having them as members only, not all of them. And again, at 99 cents, you can't really beat that. Some of you all are spending that now on Amazon buying gifts and stuff. But anyway, back to what I was speaking about. Those that are in here, do you believe that we are the permanent underclass? And as Dr. Claud Anderson has mentioned, the question is whether or not Black Americans are ready to face the socio-economic realities that affect them. We Unlock says yes. Do this real quick, just in case. I'll put it in the chat if I can, but I'm going to put this here right now. I'm going to try to. Come on. There we go. This is if anyone wants to expound on that question. Hey there, Miss Queen Snow Bunny. I was talking about Dr. Claud Anderson and his 1995 warning, if you will, that African Americans are going to be the permanent underclass and what people think about that. Again, I'm not going to go into full detail, but it's just a talking point. And again, it is Thug Life Manning's birthday. So again, content creators that are in here, take advantage of putting your links in the chat so people can sub up. Let me get my membership, the word. And again, it's only 99 cents. But again, this is basically and strictly due to socioeconomic issues that plague our communities and have been. And again, this article was written back in 1995. We are now in 2022. Thank you. So everybody check out Miss Queen Snow Bunny. Thank you for dropping that link, ma'am. And how are you on this Saturday? Oh my goodness, Andrea Smith. Thank you. Our second member is here. Welcome. And thank you, Andrea. And thank you for all of your support. Leon Locke, how are you? Hello? Yes, if you can speak up just a little bit more. Are you
Okay,
there? There you go.
good.
Welcome.
How about now? Okay.
I can hear you fine.
Hi,
Thank you.
hi, hi. How are you?
Great.
Yeah, my first time being over here.
Yes, I saw you
Um,
last night
did,
in D. Jarrell's
oh, you
live. That was
did?
a fire live.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of crazy, but that's my man. So
And you don't know what's going on until you actually look. Uh-oh, this is wonderful. Welcome, D. Jarrell. Hold
Hey,
on.
hey, Queen, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Let me get my big head off of the screen so people can see you handsome gentleman. Hold on.
what is good, Godfather?
What's up, we?
Hey, can't call it. Same old, same old.
I hear
There
you,
you
man. I
go.
hear you. I hear you. Good to hear from you.
All right, everyone. So, have at it, gentlemen.
Well, Dr. Claude Anderson always talks about how black people, how they used to be successful in some of the earlier gloria days of Black Wall Street and everything, and how he also talks about um having some of the immigrants came over to the United States, where the it was going to be that they were going to replace black people because of the labor force, and how they're, instead of paying them black people what they are owed, they can just play other people that are, you know that are not Americans for cheap. And so they, as the world, as they constantly keep doing it throughout the years, um in Black Labor White Wealth, it tells about a graphic, a graph where Chinese are Chinese and whites are the majority, the popularity in America, where black folks are damn near dead last when it comes to economics. And so what he tries to do is set up, which I have, I think, four of his books, and all of them have a formula to them. And with that formula, it's state, and it says, and it gives the blueprint to how to rebuild Black America again. But some folks want to do it? Of course. Do others want to do it? No. But it's all about the work ethic that most Black people put into it, and I'll leave it at that.
And one look, really quickly, why do you think, or what demographic of our community do you believe would make up the ones that do not want to accept or put in motion his acumen in, as you mentioned, the Black Wall Street and other programs that actually can empower and bring us back to where we were back in those days. I mean, where I am, it's, I'm not going to say it's extremely affluent, but it's pretty decent. But there's so many strip malls where put it this way, my hue, if you will, they're none. They're not, absolutely none. They're more Asian and um, African, and that's no slight to them because if you can come and make a successful living, then you can't fault people for that. And not only that, I see people that work extremely hard where some, not all of us, won't or wouldn't do certain jobs, in my opinion.
Well, it all depends upon a group or who you talk to. I guess, in my opinion. Um, and by the way, my barber used to, when he cut my hair at one point, he used to say the exact same thing, how blacks don't want the jobs that most, international people want. And with that, I would say, well, m- you know, in one breath, he would you would be correct, but in another breath, why can't we get paid when we're old anyway? I mean, with most of the black people were built in this country, built this country through blood, sweat, and determined and tears and depression and all this other stuff through slavery. So, and most of them not realizing the seriousness, the absolute seriousness of building a community, hands down, without the help of some of your white predecessors. Some of them do it, some of them don't. Me personally, I would rather build with my people from the ground up, as most people have done in the past. But the only thing you can do is you don't have to have 100 people with you. You can have a certain amount of people that will agree with you, lockstep, uh, lockstep agree with you, and get the money together and go on from there. And once you see progress start to build, right, the only thing you can do is just go up from there, and people will follow you. People will follow your lead, and give and it's good to give the word out also. It's good to give the word out to people that you can actually be successful independently and not depend upon others to do the for you to be in another person's watch per se. But most people don't want to be independent, so you have to decide for yourself who's going to come along with you in this journey. Who's going to want to build or rebuild um a Black Wall Street, which I had known that a person had told me in, I think it's in Mississippi, that there already is a Wall Street. I might be wrong about that city. Hey, D. Durrell, have you heard of the new Wall Street that's being, is it in Mississippi or is it in another state?
There's one in Alabama.
Alabama. That's what I heard.
Yeah, they purchased over 122, I think maybe 122, 130 acres of land. They're trying to build their own community. Uh, and as you're speaking on this, I mean, the black community has always, one of the fallacies is that as we talk about what the lack of black people trying to do, we never talk about the percentage of black people who have attempted to do things and they were unsuccessful, not by their own doing. They were unsuccessful due to certain people in our population, in our country, or in this culture that don't want to see us succeed. And I'm going to actually use that community in Alabama as an example. Um, they have accumulated a large amount of capital to do what they're doing from the black community. This was a group of about, I think, around maybe 75 to maybe 120 African Americans that have pulled their resources together to buy the land, to to try to create infrastructure. In the little town that they have purchased that land, they had issues getting piping and roads and things that are needed to have a community. And the fact of the matter is that when they applied for chartership and everything, as far as being a village or a town and stuff, they ran into issues dealing with the government to basically provide those things that are necessary to have a robust community as far as infrastructure wise. And so I think in the Black community, we don't talk enough about Black people who are actually having a difficult time trying to create, and they have to deal with a system of white supremacy and people that don't want to see Black people be self-sufficient. And we don't need, and I know people think, when we talk about we need to all come together, or Black people need to, we do need to do that in a general sense, but we don't need a large percentage of Black people to do this. What we need is a select amount of people who are going to be diligent and persistent in the needs of our people. And then once the majority of people see the success, or they see the work in progress, they'll begin to want to be a part of that. And one of the reasons why, as Black folks, we're so negative about Black business and Black entrepreneurship is because we don't have a large percentage of our people doing things and providing jobs for us. We don't have examples to gravitate to. And so it would take a lot of work to get 35, 45, 50% of Black people to buy into things. To me, it's about, I don't think that for the people who want to have a nationalistic perspective as far as for our community to be self-sufficient and not dependent on others, the people who have a Black nationalist or Pan-African mindset, or people who are Black first, we're not doing a good job of capitalizing on those that can provide something that have similar ideas and similar perspectives. What we're doing, we get caught up in ideologies and not looking at the long-term goal per se. So like with this community that Will and Locke just talked about, this community has the funds and they're trying to build stuff, but they're having problems with getting running water, piping, different things that the city or the state is supposed to provide. They're not doing it.
You're talking
now,
about Jackson State.
No, I'm not talking about Jackson State. It's in Alabama. This matter of fact,
it sounds something similar to it. But.
Yeah, but the population, or the group that I'm talking about, they're in Alabama. They purchased all of this land. They were actually featured. I think Dr. Boyce Watkins did he wrote a piece on them on his channel about this community getting together, trying to build a Black, quote unquote, Black community, in which is controlled by us, operated by us, and policed by us. And so the other example that I can look at, to me, the best example of a fledgling, what I would consider a large percentage of African Americans doing things and controlling a large percentage of the wealth, is probably DeSoto, Texas. And I've been to DeSoto, Texas many times, and the average income of the African American people is mostly in African American towns, a very small town. Most of the businesses are owned and operated by Black people. The average income is 6 figures plus, household medium income. And so that, to me, is probably one of the better examples of that. The problem is that we don't see that replicated as far as other states, other cities, and other states that are doing the same thing. And we have too many of our people who are caught up in, to me, the wrong things. And we're looking at white Americans as a standard of what we should be doing business wise, financial wise. And we cannot look at them. We have to create our own standard that is absent, or I would say unique to ourselves, not looking at what other people are doing, because they don't have the same experience and they don't operate under the same, rules that we have to operate under. So if we're chasing white people, we're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
The goal should not be to chase after another group of people and hold them as a standard of what success is. The goal should be to define what is success for us and improve that from generation to generation. Doa has just talked about a situation of a guy that was selling life insurance, and I guess family members died, and they refused to buy life insurance and things like that. One of the biggest reasons we are behind is because we're not passing on wealth from one generation to another. And that's something that Dr. Claud Anderson talks about a lot, is the fact that there's a transfer of capital from one generation to another. And for Black people, we seem to, from one generation to another, be starting over. We're starting from scratch, and we're not making the next generation, we're not allowing them to prosper or to start off from a higher level that would allow them to have an easier chance to succeed. See, when you're going from one generation where the parents are dying broke or the grandparents are dying broke, and then when you come along, you have to start from scratch, as opposed to other people. They have trust funds, they have land and property and liquidity and stocks and things that are being gifted to them and inherited by them. They have an easier chance to succeed. And so those are, to me, fundamental things that as Black people we're not doing that could level the playing field and improve our viability in this country.
Nice.
Thank you.
I'm
Gentlemen,
sorry.
welcome the word to the panel as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it, though.
Sure.
I agree with that, and I kind of I got a theory too that like what you said when you said it don't take a lot of us, it don't. But I also think that we need to define ourselves, like you said, and
Right.
even calling ourselves Black people. That term was given to us, and I think subconsciously it holds us back. I think we need to redefine ourselves as the people we are, or find out who we are.
Agreed.
And a step by doing that is, like I said, redefining us, because when we call ourselves Black, Negro, colored, stigmas was given to us, and unfortunately a large group of us began to live up to these names. And by doing that, I think that holds us back too. I was on a panel and we were talking, and the fact is, like, even if you subscribe to the ideology that we came from Africa on slave ships, all of us over there wasn't from the same tribe. So now we come over here and expect, once we get freed, to come together. We wasn't together over there if you subscribe to that. And that's a problem that we have now, is coming together. But like you said, it's places in Alabama, there's another place in West Virginia where there's a group of Black people who recreated or built something similar to Black Wall Street. It's just not well known because these people, they don't look at themselves as Black. They look at themselves as people who came together and creating their own. They don't want to be labeled. So, I mean, even I was the person, I sell life insurance. I sold real estate, and I got into it to educate, along help people, but for some reason, Black people, we don't come together we don't support one another. But again, we keep saying black people. It's not all black people, but when we say that, we throw ourselves in a category too, and that we got to stop doing. But there's some way, somehow, like I don't know, but we have to redefine ourselves. Until we do that, we will be stuck.
So let me ask you really quickly, how would you design, if you will, a blueprint to redefine ourselves? And would you do it as a top-down analysis from the quote-unquote elders on down, or would you begin with the young and then go up?
My personal belief, I think we start with the elders. That's just my own personal belief because they are the ones who, like this brother on here, he has the knowledge that he has, he can pass on. And a lot of the young people, I'm not gonna say all, but a lot of the young people still don't quite understand what we've been through. So, I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, we have to train the young people to take over, but ultimately, we got to get back to respecting our elders. Listening to we need a foundation first. Nothing can be built without a foundation. And the people who built the foundation is the elders, in my opinion.
Okay, do you have anything you would like to add to that, Coach D. Jarrell? I asked the word as far as redefining ourselves, if we should look at it as a top-down analysis, if we should start with the elders and go down, or if we should start with the youth and go up. I'd like to get your perspective, please. And yours too, we unlock, if you don't mind.
Sure, sure. I do agree with the brother that we have to go back to self, which means identifying who we are as a people. Because, but the more that what we analyze, if I were to ask you the definition of that word, what would it mean to you? Some say it would mean Negro. It would mean all this other stuff. I would say, no, you were wrong. It means pale. So, but you can actually grab that word and make it your own if you had your own to identify, to grasp onto. We barely have grocery stores. We don't have any supermarkets. We don't have any, all the farmlands have been taken by, these white folks. I mean, but some of the farmlands are being taken back in Africa by one of the I think, not the administrator, but I forgot who. But some of these farmlands here in America are being taken, and why? Because they want to continuously poison your food. They want to continuously poison the air because of this, because of the sun has been, and because of the sun keeps generating your skin and making yourself healthy and whole. That's why I would say Ashwa Kwesi said that if you go outside, you go outside early in the morning and the sun comes up, you generate what's called vitamin C. So know who you are in terms of where you come from, how you identify yourself. And of course, not everybody is going to say they are African. Some will say they were African American. Some say that they are Black Americans. Some say are this. Some say are that. And some say that they come from their Irish. Something are Irish because their grandmother or their cousin was Irish or half Chinese. It really doesn't make part of the difference because they are the ones. If it ever went down in a civil war, you are not going to go to these people. You're going to go to who knows you best, and that's your people who are African descendants, or your people who are people from Africa. But not everybody wants to go to Africa. Not everybody deserves to go to Africa. Let me just explain that. Now, this other thing about getting together and identifying, I also agree with the brother that it takes the elderly to um, give us that formula, but I also want to be careful with that because now at this day and age, with YouTube, they got these people that have these think tanks, and they want to question everything. They want to question, well, why did this happen, and what did this happen, and are our people, our elderly, are responsible for this and this and that, and should we just say, just tank it and get with these people who actually have something, get with these white folks who actually have something, get with these Asian people who actually have something. But again, it's a slippery slope because if it actually went down, no one in that group would care to have you in their facility. They'll tell you in their own country that they don't even want you. And that's real, but people don't want to define that. People want to define as is, listen, we went with your old ways, it did not work, so we're gonna go with this. And that's why I say you don't need a whole bunch of group of people to agree with you. You always need those 4 individuals, as Dr. Claud Anderson said, 4 individuals that you can build with. And other people, once you build that establishment, once you build that supermarket, once you build that farm, once you build the infrastructure, once you build the shopping malls, once you build the hospitals that we so desperately need, because a lot of our brothers are going into the ERs and getting hurt or worse. Once you build that establishment, then I would say, I think we would have something. But that money, the money must be transferred 8 to 12 times. 8 to 12 times, and then we can go step by step, which Dr. Claud Anderson also stated. We can go step by step of the what I would call the corporation ladder. One would be media, one would be the police, the other one would be one would be media, one would be police, and the other one would be I totally forgot. But there's a ladder. There's a ultimate ladder that you need to climb in order for us to bring not only the revenue together, but continuously build our Black community as a whole.
No, I agree with that, but I'm in the DMV, which is the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. We have had hospitals, we have had supermarkets that were built and in our communities. However, all of them have tanked, and the level of care is substandard. DC General Hospital, if anyone has heard of that, completely tanked. It's absolutely unreal. Shoppers Food Warehouse was a huge supermarket conglomerate, if you will. They've merged with others like ShopRite. Again, the foods that were in these stores, processed, canned foods, where sodium levels were between 8 and 1,000, again, leading to more health problems. So is this an attempt, a subtle or feeble attempt for, I'd hate to say it, but genocide?
To be honest, I think they can't take us off this planet. This planet will cease to exist. everything that was created. I mean, if you look at like we the biggest spenders. We the if you look at art, I mean, almost everything that we had a hand in creating without us here, but they do ultimately need to control us, keep us under control. And a lot of that is to poison our mind. Like the brother said, most black people don't understand, like just going out in the sun, our melanin absorbs sunlight. And it's actually a process similar to photosynthesis, how we absorb sunlight and gain vitamin D. But we also gain information. If you want to go into the spiritual realm, we also gain information from that. We are not meant to be in caves or homes 24/7. We have melanin. Our melanin is alive. And most of us won't even explore the idea. So that's why I said, like, these labels that was given to us for a reason. And it functions on a subconscious level that we don't even care to learn who we are. Our language was taken, uh, along with our identity, our power was taken from who we truly are. Like the brother said, we don't explore who we are. And until then, we go stay under this spell. And we go continue to hurt ourselves in many different ways. So I don't think it was complete. I mean, I just feel like all the stuff has been doing is to control us because we the workhorses.
But would you agree that if, let's say, the two of us, because there are plenty of books, there are plenty of there's plenty of information out there that could point us in that direction, but a lot of people don't want to read those books. That's why that some of them are becoming obsolete. But because of some of these scholars and some of these teachers, they they have these libraries which you can actually go on to and get the information that you need, and you can sit there and read right there and say, well, oh man, I did not know that this was created, or I did not know that these people were so dark that they were the original people of society, which they could possibly well be our ancestors, so on and so forth. So there's information out there. But the thing about it is, how many people do you plan on having in your inner circle? How many people are going to, once we finally find out who we are, whether it be indigenous or Moors or Israelites, what will, and plus you will have to change it. You will definitely have to agree to change your status, because if you don't change your status, the word Black, African American is always going to be there, and you're going to be a part of that tax bracket, which you already are. And so, and they have your bonds, and they have your bonds. It's saying the bonds is a part of your driver's license, a part of your driver's license, part of your social security number. So if you have that information that will say who you are, and you change that name, you change your status right then and there. But you and this other person and that other person have to be in agreement of who you truly are as people. That's just me.
I want to say this real quick, brother. I really need to build with you because we on the same wavelength. Because you have to change your status, and that was the whole point. When I was saying, get this back, and the association with the driver's license, birth certificate, social security card. I know exactly where you at. I mean, we on the stock market, right?
Mm-hmm. That's how they build America, off the backs of you.
Exactly, and a lot of people don't know that. And like you said, the books, the information, like I mean, the library that I obtained, when I introduce some of the books to people or the information in the books, I'm shocked that people don't read, like, are not interested in what um, where we come from when the information there. And if now is the internet. They got a lot of those in PDFs, but and that's one of the things too is the mass majority. I'm not saying all, but the mass majority of us don't read. We don't. We easily distracted by entertainment, even by the social media, and it's been like that ever since. I mean, if you look back, what was it like the 80s into the 90s, where the conscious community started coming around? Video games becoming popular. The way our entertainment shifted from Queen Latifah, MC Light, um, from the more aware artists. Now we got drill music. I'm sorry, my dog. No lie. But just the way we are distracted now is becoming more and more prevalent, and is affecting us more and more. Where we rather get on YouTube and beat versus get on YouTube and exchange information, and we're in constant competition with one another. Even some of the elders are. Like if you look in the conscious community, you see all these great brothers, and I always wondered, like, okay, why can't we all just come together and agree that we're just say, stop, Noah, ready for conversation. We call ourselves melanated people, just for conversation. Um, we call ourselves melanated people, but you get all these spiritual and religious beliefs. Why don't we all come together and agree to disagree? Allow the people to come in and choose which path they want to take, but ultimately, we all melanated people. So we will work together. If you want to practice this, that's okay. If you want to practice that, it's okay. But they don't do that. They go back and forth. Who has the better information? And that right there. I mean, even that's when, like, even the people, who have the knowledge and information, I just don't feel like they're using it the right way.
They're
Well,
not.
that's where D. Deron
Right.
comes in.
Right.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
No, I was saying you're absolutely right. If you think about it, he hit the nail on the head with conscious rappers back in the 80s. Everything leads back to numbers. You have a number on your social security card. You have a number on your driver's license. You have a number on your government cards if you have that. If you go well, if you are incarcerated, you are attached to a number. Your birth certificates, death certificates, everything relates to a number. Everything.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, I'm gonna say that um, when it comes to these groups and the intellectual battles that to me I don't understand it. There's there are constant debates. There's constant arguments. I mean, to me, it's good to to want to seek the truth. I'm not against seeking the truth, but I do think that in seeking the truth, there are so many needs that our people have that we are um, investing so much time in things that are not changing our condition. And you know, when you talk about stuff like the Moors and the Comedics and this person, that person ideology, the Hebrew Israelites, that's all great. Let's say you come up, you crack the code, and you find the truth. Then what happens after that? Is that going to lead our people in a direction where we finally operate as a self-sustaining people,
No.
If it's just going to lead to more arguments and more debates and just, okay, we found this information, but nothing comes out and it's all in vain, and as I've stated, these guys in these conscious community that talk about the needs and stuff, they're not creating jobs. They're not, enhancing the lives of people and doing this stuff. They're not creating communities, better thriving communities. One of the biggest things that I like to talk about, and I go into different sectors, and they talk about the Black community and why it's in the condition it is, the hood, how did the hood become the hood? And we talk a lot about Black professionals leaving the community, going to live elsewhere, and things of that sort. And that happened, right? And so we've taken out of most Black communities the intelligence class, in a sense, the professional class, the doctors, the lawyers, the teachers. For the most part, a lot of those people who are middle class, upper middle class, move out. But when we talk about stuff like a Black Wall Street, why are these people choosing to move out and not try to move together strategically in places? I understand if a place is too dangerous and you feel it's not safe enough for your children and things of that, I get that. But why are these people who are in a certain bracket, who are operating and functioning at a certain level, why are these people not systematically moving in certain areas, creating their own enclave per se? And again, we can reinvest in the hood, buy properties, depressed properties, buying these things that other people are coming in, rehabbing these properties and selling them back or renting them back to us. That's what's happening. And if we want to have these communities where we are together, we got to strategically do it. And we have the means to do it. We just don't have the plan, we don't have the strategy, and we don't have people committing to want to make that happen. And this is not going to be an overnight situation. This is going to take years. It's not something that's going to be overnight. This has to happen. No, it will take some time.
Absolutely. And Coach D. Jarrell, Baltimore, Maryland is primed for that. Do you know how much property is there? All of these dilapidated buildings, boarded up, but it's also a very high concentrated crime area. And not to mention, a lot of these homes have, I forget the percentage, but there's an exponentially high percentage of lead paint.
Right.
A lot of these children are being damaged by this. So you have a gold mine, if you will, of properties where you can go in and purchase say a 3-level townhome, perhaps 2 bedrooms, and older buildings built before 78. These rooms are huge, but you have other races that are coming in, buying these properties, slapping paint and whatever, so the quote unquote curb appeal will look good. But then once you move in, you'll find out, the inspection wasn't done correctly. There's lead paint here, and kids, they pick and play and everything. They ingest that, and then you have another problem.
Right.
Baltimore, just as Washington, D.C., is on the conveyor belt to be another casualty of gentrification.
Right. And that's unfortunate. And the same thing is going on in Houston. When you look at the 3rd Ward, 5th Ward area, the same thing. People are buying up properties. There's so much gentrification going on. It's sickening, and people are not, taking care of those properties. We're not buying those properties. We're not, capitalizing on these high. Actually, some of these properties are actually valued pretty high just on the basis of location. But we're not taking advantage of it. We're just, I don't know, man. We the things that matter, we're just not prioritizing those things.
And can I build on what this brother just said real quick? And I might drop down, but like I'm in Detroit, right? And I tried to do that. I moved. I'm from a small town, moved into the city, grew up in Detroit. Made better for myself, and I bought 3 houses, and I tried to not only fix the one up I was in, but build around in hopes that I can put, people on land contracts so they have the opportunity to own the house one day versus just renting from it. I encouraged that. But the problem was that people saying I had, they didn't, and they came and took. Even though I tried, to do what I could at the time. I didn't have that many resources, but I had enough to, try to start. And, it hurt me,
Right.
So it's hard. Like you said, now, like in Detroit, a lot of these neighborhoods, like you said, gentrification, they go in and buy them. But what they do is they get the riffraff out. And we can do that too. But we don't. We don't
Right.
protect one another. Like I'm sitting here and I'm trying to do something to help people around me, and y'all the ones that's hurting me. And basically they told me, well, you gotta beef up security. I'm like, y'all my neighbors, bro. I grew up with y'all. Like, why can't we help one another? Why can't you look out, give me a call, or we ain't snitching? And that again goes back to that black culture. Like, that's an Italian word. Snitching and ratting. All that came from the
Right.
Italians. And we adopted that, and now we're living by it. Like I told people, like, I was a knucklehead when I was younger. I ran around the street. I did. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even have to. I did because I was a product of the environment. But I learned. And now I tell people, if you can for a service, I would rather the cops come arrest the brother before we hurt one another. Me personally. I would rather for us both to live than one of us have to take each other out. If there's a conflict, I'm not going out starting anything. So if I'm paying for a service, I'm going to utilize it. That's just how I feel now. I'm older with kids and a family. I got a lot to lose now. And I'm not risking it over a battle of egos. I'm okay. I'm straight. But until we start protecting one another, until we redefine ourselves and let go of these stigmas and ideologies that was given to us, we gonna continue to suffer. We are our own worst enemy.
And more importantly, if I may add,
Yes,
stop downplaying the black female as if she's responsible for everything that's gone wrong in.
Oh no, that's I never do that. My mother raised me. I'm a black male. My mother raised me. So the black female is a crucial part of redefining who we are.
Correct.
And like I personally, like I teach my sisters who they are. They call them woman. I call them the woman, the womb, the creators of life. And until we
predicated towards the young. Go ahead.
Yeah, predicated towards until we put the female back in the position that's rightfully hers, in my opinion, is the throne. We will continue to suffer because now we get the women acting like men and the men acting like women. And if you subscribe to it or not, but the Willie Lynch papers describe the process of doing so. And we don't, like he said, we don't pick up books and read.
Mm-hmm. Well,
many of us do, though, but it seems to me, at least as far as the social media aspect, and not all, but you have clusters where the behavior is repulsive. And not only do women, but men almost cheerlead for it. And again, do what you do to make your bag, but at the same time, to me, it's a disservice to our community if we want to actually rebuild. And that's a
All money
problem
ain't good money.
because so many people have fallen into that slope of wanting to be popular or wanting to have the most dollar bills at the end of the day.
And I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna drop down. But that's another ideology, right? We think success is money or material stuff
I
because
don't.
that's what the Europeans present to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like, you know, we get money, and the first thing we do is buy material stuff that depreciates. We don't buy land. We don't buy invest into gold. Some of these other resources that appreciate. We buy stuff that depreciate because we see everybody else doing it. Like I was having a discussion with a brother, and he was talking about, you know, his clothes. Oh, I'm wearing Balenciaga. I'm wearing this, and I'm like, I would prefer to put something on my body that with my name on. You know, that to me is a bigger and better feat. But we don't think like that. You know, create our own. We create stuff and give it away. Our art, our music, we create and give it away. Even our ideas, our creation, we give it away. We don't keep it, sit on it, let it appreciate. And that creates generation wealth too. Like Muhammad Ali, his name, you know, he sold it. And now Layla Ali can't use it.
Oh, wow.
But do you know how much money that man his name generate? And that could have went, I mean, I don't know how long it could have went. You know, it could have went for a very long time where his family would have continuously making money, but he took 70 million.
And Papa Doug spoke on that, trademarking your name.
Mm-hmm.
Start off young.
But let me drop down. I appreciate you, though. I'll be in the chat.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. And again, happy Saturday and happy December.
And I would love, absolutely love to build with these brothers because, like, I'm only 38. I don't know if they're older or younger than me, but the knowledge that they have, I want to share and I want to receive. I mean, I would appreciate to build with you brothers one day, even if it's on this platform, though. I mean, you throw a subject on, and I would love to come up here and build with them.
It could be done anywhere. I mean, knowledge is free and it's extremely powerful, but one must thirst to have it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But I appreciate y'all.
No problem.
And again, thank you. And make sure that you continue to put your notifications on. YouTube, if you've been on here long enough, it's kind of a finicky little devil because I don't see some until late.
Yeah.
But I'll try to swoop by and put in a like or share when I can. Again, I did not mean to be this long, but again, some of these conversations, honestly, we're not having them and they need to be had, especially with this holiday season. And I'll end it unless someone else has something to say. And this isn't being sacrilegious at all. The churches, the Black churches, every year, they are notorious for pushing tithing and then the pastor's fund when there are still people suffering from the 2020 pandemic.
That is correct.
And again, as I said, I have seen literally new mega churches coming up along with other clinics coming up. So again, we have to learn how to conceptualize and put these things together. I'm going to speak on this probably in a week or so about some of these utilities. How many people actually sit down and read all of these charges on your bill? I'm paying a cable bill that is absolutely insane. I don't even watch the TV that's upstairs in my room. I don't even know why I got it. But I mean, I'm paying for that and the box, but all of these taxes. And by the time you finish looking at that, that's almost $50 right there in fees.
Well, you know where the taxes go, right? Taxes go to,
Absolutely.
yeah, your taxes go to your little buddies up there up in Washington, and then they transfer some of them to the elitists who supposedly think that they know what's best for everyone. It's not just black folks.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I got upset because my cousin had called me and asked me, had my cable bill gone up? I said, a little, but I mean, I don't watch it a lot, so I don't have all of these extra channels. I don't need it like that. I'm working a lot and then I'm doing other things, but her bill is over 200 and some dollars. And I know she's not watching TV like that. So I sat down one day and looked at all of these taxes on these bills. And I'm like, this is crazy.
Does she have what does she have? Comcast, Cox,
She
DirecTV?
has Xfinity.
Never heard of that.
Well, I mean, it's the same as Comcast slash Xfinity.
Oh, okay.
So I
Okay.
asked her, to look at your bill and see what they're charging you for. And I was actually charged for mobile services. And I said, excuse me, I already have a carrier. So you have to watch what is going on your bills and what they're sneaking in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Our
People
and our rent went up. Our rent went up $200, so don't feel bad.
$200.
Yeah, we're used to paying $50 every year, but due to the inflation, pretty much everybody got hit. So we were hit with the what big prices. In our apartment is was came cheap. A 3 bedroom apartment with 2 bathrooms started off with 900. Um, wasn't that bad, but we've been here for 6 years. But then after that, 6 years later, we got hit with the inflation, and so every hotel or not hotel, every apartment, condo, yeah, you're gonna have to damn near pay double. And it people been complaining, protesting. I mean it does no good. So the only thing you can do at this present time, unless you planning on voting for somebody in office and getting with them first and raising holy hell about these situations, and giving out your money to these certain individuals to get what you need, to get what you want in the process. It's going to keep going this way. But luckily and unfortunately for me, I'm moving in 6 months. So
Oh,
uh,
congratulations. I hope to be too on my vision board, Georgia. It was either Rocky Mount, North Carolina, or Savannah, Georgia. Um, I actually love this mountain area. However, the HOA fees are absolutely ridiculous, and the services that come under these fees, they don't add up.
where are you from again?
Maryland. I'm actually
way
near.
out there.
I'm actually near West Virginia. If you've ever heard of Sugarloaf Mountain, which is a little bit above Frederick, yeah.
Ooh, way out there in the sticks.
I
Not
mean,
too
it's
far from Michigan.
beautiful. It's beautiful. It's quiet. However, when inclement weather comes, we get it first. We have to wait until contractors can come out. And unfortunately, we are now having situations where, how can I put this gingerly without being offensive? Um, People that are moving in that have absolutely no consideration. Each jurisdiction has a noise ordinance. Some people act as if they don't understand that. Um, I don't want to hear any type of music 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when you're pulling in.
I hear that.
I mean, it's disrespectful for one thing, and again, it's against the noise ordinance. As simple as that. I mean, there are times where I'll leave my door open just to get the cool air in. And now that my tree is up, I'll probably leave the blinds up as many others do around here. There's a lot of police presence, but that again doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot, because if somebody is heck bent on doing something, it doesn't matter. I mean, law enforcement, their target every day. It's a slight deterrent, but again, depending upon the mindset, especially and during the holiday season, where there's always an uptick in depression, crime, and so many other negative things. If someone wants to do something, they will find a way to do it. If not right then and there, eventually. So,
Hmm.
and as I said, the prices are just, you're not getting the services that are equal to what you're paying in these HOA fees. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And as I said, the people that are moving in now, well, a couple of them, just no home training. They allow their kids to do whatever, and that's another problem. You say anything to the kids, they sit there and mean mug you. When I was a child, if I did something, my neighbors would tear my hind parts up. And when I got into the house, I'd get another one.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that, and this is some communities, not all,
Not
but
all, no, no.
no,
And
but
again,
we still have to have that that thing that says, well, this used to be a community that practice common sense. Not everybody, because education is bad. I mean, I can name all type of scenarios. Education is horrible. Living condition is horrible. One single parent households. I mean, this is part of the system that we're in. But again, we can't just continuously blame the white man for all 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 decade long. We all
no,
know we all
accountability.
know the outcomes. We are aware, fully aware of our history, or should be. The only people should know the history of what was being done to African Americans are the younglings. Sorry for the Star Wars reference. Um, the younglings should know each and every single bit blood drop, every culture, every single tyranny of our ancestors, where we came from, where our ancestors came from, and so on and so forth. What was the first invention? Who first invented the peanut? Who invented the stoplight? Who educated us when we weren't even supposed to be reading? Who invented the rocket ship? We should be teaching that to our younglings. If we, and it's so sad that most people don't want to know and just want to move on to a white picket fence type of a life, which, newsflash, it's not going to happen, because as far as I'm concerned, they're concerned with only two things: getting the rich richer and the poor poorer. And there is no middle class. No middle class at all. Either you are making money hand over fist, or you're just begging like everybody else.
Thank you. And Blackbird McKnight said that earlier. I think, unfortunately, and I hate to say it, that many of us are seeing the eradication of the middle class.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I am
Well,
extremely exhausted when I get in, and I'm like, Lord have mercy. And I mean, I have to, because I want to make sure that, number one, I am not a burden on someone else when the last sand in my hourglass hits the bottom. And not only that, I would like to have some comfort level if I am still given favor years ahead of me, because 50s, that's still not old. I still have a lot of life left, and a lot of things I like to be able to learn and experience, and meeting different people on social media with different perspectives. And like the Black Wall Street, as DJ Rel, and I believe you mentioned earlier, and the word, I didn't even know those, were up and running. They can do that here, but again, too many people, they will not pull together resources to make it happen. And unfortunately, I think a lot of it has to do with the trust factor. It's not because the resources aren't there. And for anyone to sit there and to ever say, well, there's no resources, I will let them know that is absolutely untrue, because you can't tell me others are able to come here and own not one, but two nail salons, grocery stores. Do you know how many mega marts that cater to the actually they cater to all ethnic groups? There's one around the corner. That's where I get my fruits from, because I'm following Dr. Sebi's diet, and if you follow him, the fruits with the seeds are supposed to be more healthier. And that's where you find a lot of those. You go to some of these other stores, you have the regular yellow bananas, which are hybrid. So again, there are plenty of stores, but what's the quality that you're getting? You can open some packages up. The label placed upon them may say it's still good, but if you open it up, sometimes the contents are so rancid, you may feel faint. And people, we're just not educated enough in those areas. And back to the churches, they don't even teach nutrition anymore. They'll push the agenda of getting medicated, but as far as eating healthy, do you know how many obese kids I see? I'm like, we played until the lights came on. Or I don't know if you remember lightning bugs back in your day, until
mm-hmm.
no lightning bugs
Mm-hmm.
in
I
the
remember
dirt.
them street lights.
Yes, played in the dirt, made mud pies. But now kids today are locked in their room. We couldn't lock our doors, playing video games, and they are obese.
Well, that's where you look at certain activities and you take your children to or create your own football leagues. Um,
Yes.
I know a couple of people who have created their own football leagues internally. Well, my brother-in-law, he I think he's trying to create his own football league, and he wants my son and his son to be in that league along with some other people. But right now they're in martial arts, my daughter and my son. So every Tuesday and every Thursday they're in those classes, and my son had his first tournament. So even though it was his first tournament, and he ended up, well, not doing too well because I mean it was just completely unorganized, and just they just placed him with his first opponent with somebody who was a heavyweight, and he's a middleweight. So it was his first, but yet he's active. He's active, and my daughter is active, and I want him and her into more and more things, because the more and more things that they're into, the more that their bodies are going to be, uh, what's the word? I don't know if the word is correct, but hyper vigilant. Um, they're going to want to do more, and I want their minds also to be focused on education, more education, um, more energy they can get into stuff, and the less they can stop begging me to watch my TV, because I have at least 4 or 5 TVs in the house, and theirs don't have cable, but mine's do. So they can stop bugging me. They're like, "Hey, Dad, can I come in?" Like, nah, do your homework, read a book, and also take them to the library.
Yes, I loved that growing up. My mom had ordered, um, oh God, I'm really telling my age, but I don't know if anyone remembers, but they were a brown set of encyclopedias, the Flunkin' Wagonal
Mine was
encyclopedia.
green. Mine was
I
green, but
was
go ahead.
brown, so yeah, I'm way older than you, but we had to read those. Every encyclopedia, every publication that came out, um, we had to read them. Actually, when I was in the fifth grade, because my reading level was kind of up there. That's because she read to us every night. And that's another thing. We had to read books, or she would read to us. I was one of the ones selected to read to the kindergartner children. So I was extremely proud and pleased about that. Education is so important. And even if you can't get to a library, if you're near a subway station or a bus stop, even if you're driving by, there's so many free publications there. Um, I know they used to have something called The Onion. I don't know if that's out anymore, but Politico, Epic Times, there's so many publications you can grab. That's how I help myself to increase my vocabulary. And I would look for words that I did not know the definition to and learn them and incorporate them in my writing,
Hmm.
keeping in mind who my audience was, but at the same time, helping to build my mind, because eventually you'll start to, it won't be as keen. That's why you see a lot of older people who are into crossword puzzles. And
Yes.
I have a Mensa book, and those are for people with really high IQs. But I study those puzzles, and I'm pretty good at those. When people talk about feeding, you it's not always physical. You've got to feed your mind to things that you may be afraid of, but you have to push yourself, because you've got to rebuild your own brain cells. And keep in mind, the brain is physical. Everything physical on your body, eventually, as you grow older, some even younger, depending upon what's going on, that's going to eventually start to decrease because
Mm,
it's physical, it's your mind that's mental. So you got to keep that strong.
the brain is a creature of repetition. Yes.
Absolutely. But you try to talk to some people about that, they don't want to hear that, or they'll slap a label on you that you don't deserve when you're only trying to teach them from experience. I've seen so many people, some younger than me, oh, I can't remember such and such. I'm like, how do you not remember that? And it was just a couple of days ago. So, or spelling, or just certain things, because we're so accustomed now to technology. And I'm telling you, some of these little gadgets, it's a deeper, it's a deeper picture that's going on. But again, if your lens is blurred, you won't catch it.
Well, I mean, well, again, well, I'll just say this, and I'll end it from there.
Sure.
Just like uh, technology is there for you, is there to hurt you. It can also be a tool for helping people, depending upon what resources that you're looking for. When it comes to computers, I had Socrates growing up, and Socrates gave you math, it gave you social studies, it gave you English, it gave you everything but science. And it went from a difficulty from easy to the most difficulty, which was very, very hard. And that's what I needed. Um, and then I was took into a computer class by my aunt because she wanted, like my father, she wanted me to be constructive as well. Now, I graduated barely in high school. Barely. If it wasn't for my teacher, Mrs. Thornton, who was my math teacher, who had actually sat me down and said, you're going to stay here and you're going to study your mathematics, I would have had not have graduated back in 99. So I owe almost everything to Mrs. Thornton and to my other teachers who were actually have been there for me. And with that being said, go Cowboys.
Oh, absolutely. And you're absolutely right. Science, did you take science at all? Because I remember
Yes.
when we had to dissect a little teeny piggy.
Frog.
Mad. Yeah, I was mad. My science teacher, her name was Miss Pope. And I wanted to take my book and hit her in the head with it because I love animals. And I understand that experiments and things need to be done, but I was a kid back then. But yeah, I was really angry with Miss Pope. And when she turned around, I swear to goodness, I wanted to take the book and tear that head up. But I believe the little piggies were already gone, but we just had to go and look at everything inside and all of that. But I enjoyed
Oh, the
science.
horseshoes don't even have a chance. Stop it.
What
I'm
did
just
you
playing.
say?
I
You're
said the
talking
hor-
about
the little horseshoes don't even stand chance. Just a joke. Go ahead.
y'all are funny. Y'all are too funny. What did he say? I told my biology teacher I couldn't dissect a frog. Why was it? Did it make you squeamish, Blackbird? I mean, I honestly didn't want to do the little piggy because he was a cute little thing. But I mean, you have to learn, and unfortunately, in life, learning, as
If
many other things, is not comfortable.
if you can't dissect a frog, then you can't go in the professionalism of being a doctor or being a nurse. or being a surgical tech, because that's what I wanted to be. Because when I was
Or
when
first responder.
or first responder, because the first thing you're going to see is blood and gut.
Oh my goodness, absolutely,
I worked at the
absolutely.
I've worked at plenty of hospitals here in Las Vegas, and I can tell you the smell of flesh, it
Oh,
it, it means very,
oh,
very little. You get used to it after a while. I actually the one of the doctors actually invited me in, and he said, "Well, if you want to be a surgical tech, this is what you're going to have to do." And he had cut the body open right in front of me,
oh my goodness.
and I didn't flinch. I didn't flinch. I didn't hurl. I didn't do nothing because this is what we used to. If you
Let
cut,
me
if
ask
you
you.
accidentally, if you accidentally cut yourself, you're going to see blood. I mean, come on.
Yes, yes, you are, but where it's spurting, where you need to get a tourniquet. I mean, that's something that you learn in first aid and CPR, but I'm talking about where someone is actually perhaps where it's just, I'll just say, an enormous amount. I'm I'm really squeamish now. I get upset when I see a deer on the side of the road, and some of my friends, I'm talking about friends who actually know me, and they've seen me. Um, yeah, I'll cry if I see a deer on the side or a little squirrel. I've actually almost had an accident trying to dodge a squirrel.
Oh, what, a squirrel? I'll be wanting to
I
eat
mean,
the
I love
squirrel.
animals. I'm sorry. Yeah, I do. I love animals, except for snakes.
If you ever had deer, oh, I can't stand snakes. But if you ever had deer, it's not that bad.
You know what? My mom loved deer, and she would make deer steaks and tried to tell us that it was hamburger. And I'm like, Mama, this ain't no daggone hamburger. I don't know who you're trying to fool, but no, because we had that growing up. I grew up in Southern Maryland, and she would have deer. Um, I might think, what is it, turtle or tortoise, something. We had huge um, turtles or tortoises down there, muskrats, you name it.
Good lord.
Yeah, my mom at the time would eat everything from the rooter to the tutor. I couldn't do it, but that's what she grew up on. And I would just, she never had chitterlings though, thank God. I've been in homes that where people clean those. She didn't do that, but the feet, um,
Chitlins.
yes, no, she never did that. But the pig feet, yes. Hog maws, yes. And I would look at her like, ew, but that's what they grew up on. But no, she did try to fool us with deer meat. A lot of people love that. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I listen. Not pork rinds. Yeah, pork rinds are um that's the only thing I do. That's the closest thing to it. But pig feet, hog maws,
She ate it
chitlins.
all,
Nah,
except for
I
the
don't care. I
chicken.
don't care how much vinegar you put in them. They are rotten. You shouldn't be eating that stuff anyway. That's how you get hypertension and high blood pressure.
The sodium. But I've made
All that sodium.
yeah, I've made vegan chitterlings out of bean curd. So you can replicate anything. I've also made vegan oxtail. So I mean, there's different things you can
Why
do,
don't
but
you eat the
again,
pig's butt if you cook it right? Why don't you eat that?
no thanks. I can't. If I just think like this, if it has eyes, I'm not going to eat it. That's just me. But again, I don't judge anybody for what they do. The closest thing I would eat, and I have not in probably 3 years now, is salmon. And again, you have to be careful.
What?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just bought salmon 2 days ago now.
No, it's actually good for you, but again, I just don't eat any meat, fish, or poultry at all. It's all strictly vegetables. Tofu, bean curd. I mean, I do a lot of different things. You wouldn't know. King oyster mushrooms, jackfruit. Do if you prepare those the right way and have the right seasonings, you wouldn't know.
Can
But
I have
again,
beans?
I'm
Can I
sorry.
have beans? Can I have beans? Are beans
Yes,
okay?
beans are actually suggested because it's a high source of fiber. Beans, legumes, quinoa, if you like that. Brown rice, I will do from time to time, but make sure if you like rice, you try to get the parboiled rice. But that's a
You know,
whole nother topic. But yeah, again, what you consume, it means a lot.
yeah.
You can
And
do
you want to
or
be proportionate. Hmm.
and that's another thing, proportions. You don't have to not enjoy your foods. You just have to, like you said, proportions. You don't have to keep, you don't, just because if someone gives you 5 plates, that doesn't mean you have to accept it. Because I'm telling you, you as you grow older and depending upon how your system, that's that's hard to get rid of. And a lot of men talk about women and their pooches, but let me tell you, I've seen a lot of men with little teeny stick legs and Dunlap. That's where their guts then Dunlapped over their belt. And I don't even see how they can see their little well, that probably came out the wrong way. Let me rephrase that. They may not be able to see their friend, their attachment, their conjoined twin, if you will. And that's because a lot of them may consume a lot of alcohol, which turns into sugar. And some of it, you're just not getting exercise. Or it could be early onset diabetes. And that's no joke when
Well,
you start
I already
that.
told you I'm a pre. I already told you that.
What do
I'm a
you
pre-diabetic.
Well, work really hard, and I will send healing and restoration prayers that pre is eliminated. Are you eating a lot of salt, or is it hereditary? Because my cousin is small, but she is pre-diabetic. She does not need the needle or anything like that.
No, but I'm taking the methanol, whatever they call it, but because they want my my blood sugar to go down after these couple of months, then I have to go back to the doctor. But however, the only thing that got me in trouble was a lot of carbs and certain sweets. Now I love chocolate. I
Me
love
too.
chocolate. I love
Reese's.
chocolate cake. I love chocolate chip cookies. I can't eat them no more. I only ate. I only ate. A, I only ate like one slice of chocolate cake this past Thanksgiving. But the rest of that I can't eat. Now I'll eat anything else. I'll eat. You can get the sugarless cookies at any grocery store. I'll eat those, but ultimately, they say you can have proportions of popcorn, have an apple. Uh, they would prefer you to have peanut butter with celery. Um,
Yes.
a friend of mine, uh, he has his own weed juice business, and he would prefer me just juice. Now these juices are have nothing but raw vegetables in them. And that was the first time I ever had a part of celery, a part of some kale, a part of this, a part of that, and it had an effect on my body. it was just like my body was just draining. Like, what is this?
I am the smoothie queen. Well, maybe
Yes.
not queen, but no, I make a lot of smoothies, and I think I put one up. Put, no, that wasn't a smoothie. That was mushroom bisque. But yeah, I put one up not too long ago that did really well in my shorts. But no, smoothies are it. You and those that may not like it, get yourself some organic kale, pineapple if you can um, deal with that, and if you like burro bananas, and you can freeze those.
Mm.
Blend that
Mm.
up. You will not be able to taste the kale at all because the sweetness from the pineapple and the banana will take away from the green. You'll have that beautiful green color, but you won't taste that kale. But leafy greens are so important because it helps you stay regular. And that's
Mm-hmm.
something that a lot of people, again, I've had people say, I haven't used the restroom in 3 days. I'm like, how? I've always been regular, but again, you have to incorporate fiber, and oats actually is a very, 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 very good source of fiber, and they're heart healthy. So I don't know if you like oats, if you like oatmeal. I make granola, vegan granola.
Now, what type of oatmeal are we talking? Are we talking about the oatmeal with the no sugar in it? Are we talking about the
I'm
oatmeal
talking
in the
about organic oats. Everything I buy is not cheap. That's why I have to work the way I do. When you're vegan, I mean, you can't really put a price on health, but nowadays you kind of almost have to make sure those are small. But no, you don't get the pre-made oatmeal. You make your own. Again, if you can,
GMOs. Be aware
both.
of 'em.
Yeah. And again, just like Platinum and Gold said, no high fructose syrup. If you need a sweetener, I would suggest, and again, check with your physician first, date syrup. Or if you can eat dates, throw a couple of dates in your blender. That'll make your smoothie a little bit sweeter. Or if you can do vanilla extract, just a tad of that. But the pineapple, if you like mango, my goodness, that will
That's the first
boost
time
it
I ever
up.
had mango. The first time I ever had mango, it was just, oh my goodness.
Delicious. All mangoes are
It
so
got
good.
used
Are
to.
not expensive. They're not expensive at all. You can eat them. I made a mango sorbet. It was so easy, and it tastes really good with lime. And if you're going to get lime, if possible, try to get, I'll put it in the chat, try to get key limes. They're smaller, but they are better quality. And if you do lemons for your water, try to get the Meyer lemons, and hopefully everyone can see that. But those are actually good as well. I hate water, but I drink alkaline water, and I'll
Me
put
too.
either a slice of lime in it, or it depends on my mood. I may put a lemon in it. Um, if you want your water to be a little bit more healthier, throw some chia seeds in there and a sprig of mint. Chia seeds have your omega 3s.
Yes.
You like
Yes. Love
those?
you. Omega 3s. I have my omega 3s and my zinc. Uh,
Yes.
uh, Question.
Yes.
Let's just say I'm lazy. Let's just say I'm lazy as hell, right?
You
And
okay?
I
You look
just want to go to I want to go to
confession,
Taco Bell.
confession time.
I want to go to Taco Bell, but I know I can't have the regular original foods I can't eat. Is it okay if I have a bean burrito?
If you are free, and again, this is something that needs to go to your physician, but if it were me, I wouldn't.
But it's nothing but beans. You said I can have beans.
Yeah, but I mean, you can buy your own beans, soak them, put them in a crock pot, let them cook overnight, and add in scallion, onion, garlic, a bay leaf, and you'll have yourself a nice bean soup. Or add some pinto beans, black beans, red beans, and you can have yourself a vegan 3-bean chili with vegan cheese and
Not bad.
vegan sour cream.
Not bad at all.
I mean, I've
Not
done that.
bad. Well, my wife actually has done that before. So,
Yes, and it's good. It is so good. Again,
bean chili. Oh,
yes,
lovely.
yes. You can put everything in that you would with regular chili. Again, they have vegan, and I'll spell it if you want to add a kick to your chili, chorizo, or again, jackfruit. You can make barbecue pulled pork if you want, but use jackfruit and use Judge Joe Brown's barbecue sauce.
Oh,
Or
barbecue sauce.
yes, and
Yes,
as a matter of fact, let me
well, let me tell you something right now. You better go on down there and get my barbecue sauce. It's the best barbecue sauce in town.
and
Now, I
I
don't,
am it is. It really is. I made zucchini meatballs with it. I made the pulled pork with it. I've done everything with that. This broadcast is sponsored by Judge Joe Brown's.
yeah,
This broadcast is sponsored by Judge Joe Brown's barbecue sauce. Judge Joe Brown's barbecue sauce is for all your barbecue needs. Delicious on barbecue, vegetables, and greens. Again, Judge Joe Brown's barbecue sauce. Get yours today at jjbbbq.com. Again, jjbbbq.com.
nice.
Yes, that is my first sponsor, his barbecue sauce. But no, it is so good. It's so thick. It's so rich. And I'm telling you, you can do so much. If you like sloppy joes, use jackfruit or king oyster mushrooms and put the seasonings that you like. Do you like smoked paprika?
I don't think I ever had that.
Put that in your beans, or again, any type of meal you want to have that calls for meat, or even poultry, or even if you do salmon, because salmon actually is a high source of your omega-3s. You can do that. And if you want to really be extra, get yourself a pineapple, cut that in half, and put your salmon in that, put it on a plank, throw it in the oven. That's a good meal in itself. But that's just a suggestion.
You giving restaurant tips.
I mean,
Which is
my
lovely.
goal, honestly, is to open up, and I have so much already completed. The renderings have been done. A vegan cafe, so that's another reason why I work so extremely hard, because those are goals that I have. So
Nice.
yeah, vegan cooking and eating, it doesn't have to be what people think. Oh, it has no flavor. No, because there's so many things out there that a lot of things are getting expensive. You can make your own vegan nut milks. I did that before. with walnuts, your cashews, vegan mac
Hmm.
and cheese. Have you ever had that? That is
Yes,
so good.
yes, yes.
So popcorn.
I even had kale waffles before. Kale waffles are good.
Oh my
So
goodness. See, absolutely. You said you like popcorn. If you have nut or nutritional yeast, sprinkle a little bit of that on there to give it like a cheesy texture and flavor.
good Lord.
Yes, there's so many. Oh my goodness. I have a lot of that stuff posted, but again, there are a lot of things that you can do to incorporate a healthy lifestyle because again, being vegan is not a diet. It is a lifestyle and it's not something that you can just jump into because a lot of people think, oh, I can't do this, and they get out. No, it's something that you gradually have to get into. I had to do it for health reasons to
Yes,
get
ma'am.
the pressure off of not only my lungs but my heart as well. And that's something a lot of people seem to forget how close your lungs and heart is together. So if you're toting around a lot of weight, not only are you putting pressure on your knees and your ankles and other parts of your
Hmm.
body, your heart and your lungs are working triple overtime
Overtime.
to keep you going. So at
Hmm.
54, I have no choice. But
54.
yeah, I just turned 54 on Tuesday to
You can't be 54. Not in that picture. That picture does not resemble 54. It was.
that is that's
I'm
a
thinking you 30. I'm
that
thinking you
that
must be 39.
no, that filter is beautiful. But no, I have photos up with absolutely no makeup. Matter of fact, when you first get on my page, I did a CMOS gel mask. I don't have any makeup on at all. As soon as you get in, you'll see that video. So you'll see my little age spots or whatever. But no, 54. But I have to eat healthy, and chocolate is a weakness. I do a lot of vegan chocolate, but I will cheat, and I'm going to today. I have to get a Reese's peanut butter cup. Just one. But that's my weakness. But sodas, if people can eliminate those, you you kind of like um, hit the halfway mark. White
Oh
potatoes,
man,
that has a lot of sugar.
sodas. Even
I'm sorry,
I drink the diet sodas.
there's
Diet
sugars in
Pepsi.
those too.
Not as I'm thinking not as much as enough sugar as people would think, but because it
Not
does
as
say
much, but look
zero.
at it says zero, but look at what other things are in there. If it has, put it this way as a rule of thumb, and again, in moderation, Rome wasn't built in a day. Look
Right.
to see if there's any artificial colors or sweeteners or anything like that. And then just read your labels. I'll just say that. And
Mm,
keep in mind, and you can do your own research. And I implore people to do that. A lot of the ingredients that we find in foods on shelves in the United States are banned in other countries.
yes, they are.
And a lot of people don't know that. So they're popping these goodies and they don't even realize, like Cheetos. I used to love those as a kid. There's coloring on there. Where do you think that coloring is coming from? I mean, have
Right.
you ever sat down and researched all of the things
Yep.
on the labels of foods? I mean, you're like,
In-
what in the world?
Including honey nut Cheerios, which my doctor had Googled right there in front of me. It's a you realize it has no cholesterol, but check the sugar out
There you go. So they won't kill you with one part, but they'll get you with the other. And that's what I try to tell
with
my
the
son.
other.
Yes, because she was trying to tell me she couldn't understand why her sodium level was so high. So I was sitting on the sofa and I said, "Well, what are you eating?" So she said, "I'm eating Progresso. That's the best soup out there." So I went in there and got the can of soup and I looked at it and I said, "Read this label." So she was reading all of the vegetables. I said, "No, look at the sodium." And that particular can had 2 servings. So that's another thing. Look at your servings. So it was a regular, well, a little bit larger than regular size can, but 2 servings. Again, portion. People don't think about that. Portions. The first serving, sodium 860. The entire contents of that can of Progresso vegetable soup, or as my mama used to say, vegetable, was 1280.
Jesus.
And she would eat that every day.
Just for
I
one
said,
serving?
yes. That's what I'm saying. People don't read. I'm serious. I am not joking. Go to the grocery store the next time and look at some of these soups, tomato soup, and just look at the label and just scroll down. Take your finger or whatever, or a pen or whatever you want to take, scroll down and look at the sodium levels. Same thing for people that eat a lot of processed cheese. Look at the sodium levels. It may say healthy on the front. Flip that bad boy around and look at your sodium levels. That's why hypertension is called the silent killer, because we may be looking at just the front of the label. We're not paying attention to the back of the labels that tells you how much sugars are in there, how much artificial flavoring and colorings are in there, but most importantly is the levels of sodium.
Wow. Well, this has been a very good lesson. Although I'm gonna be hard headed some of these days because I'm
I
still
mean, we
thinking.
all are. I am. Don't get me wrong, but
I
if
only had
you
one donut.
hopefully it was plain, but you can make vegan donuts.
Vegan donuts.
I made some. You can actually do them with oatmeal. You can bake oatmeal. There's so many different things you could do. I'm making the final touches on my vegan channel now, where I have a lot of recipes that I've done. But you just made me think to go and get those 3 beans and throw a pot of chili on. So that'll be
Ooh.
ready for tomorrow's game. And then I'll make some vegan cornbread with jalapeno. Yep, that's what I'll do. So that'll be my dinner for tomorrow. So thank you for inspiring me with that
Not a
idea.
problem. Not a problem. Thank you
But
for
no,
inspiring me.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean you can do it. You exercise, don't you?
Once or twice a day. Other than that,
Excellent.
I usually walk to work.
Oh, okay.
Not walk to work. I walk from the facility that I work at. I park my car and then I have to walk to the facility that I have to work at, and then I'll have
Absolutely.
to do that over and over and over again.
And see, that's a good thing. A lot of people think they have to get these expensive memberships. You can afford it and that's what you want to do, fine. I've got steps I can run up and down. I can go out back and do what I need to do. I mean, there's things you can do in the house. Again, a lot of people on the computer, um, take a break, stand up, walk, because if you sit for long periods of time, you can allow for the blood to pool down your legs, which sometimes may end up traveling back up to your lung, where you can experience a PE, which is a pulmonary embolism that either will put you on blood thinners for the rest of your life or, God forbid, take your life. So
Ooh.
the goal is, yes, but that's, yeah, have you heard of people that take these long flights that don't get up, they don't walk around or stretch, and they're extremely healthy? That's because the blood is pooled to the bottom of their ankles and then it's gone back up and it's formed clots, gets to your lungs.
Mm,
Google it.
yeah. I believe it. I
No,
definitely
I'm just saying
believe
a
it.
lot of people don't know that. So it's like when you hear of freak accidents like that, it's because we're not moving like we should. And again, some people may have lost a limb.
Due
Sometimes
to
mine aches so bad, I feel like I've lost it. I haven't. But where you may be weak in some areas, the Creator provides and will compensate and make another area in your body stronger. So just try to move and stay active as much as you can without harming yourself, but you've got to move. You have got to move because it doesn't feel good when you try to get up and your mind is saying, okay, it's time to go this way, and your ankle or your elbow is telling you, you need some WD 40 first. No joke.
uh, well, again, well, I try to move sufficient enough to have my body just have the blood flowing throughout my body. But work. I work the night. I work night shift, and
Oh,
I mean, where it's required of you to stay on your feet all day until it hits lunchtime. Then I have an hour lunch, then I go back to work, and then I have to walk back to my car again. I usually sprint to my car. That's what I used to do, is just sprint. And right now it's chilly. It's cold. It's cold right now. And you just sprint to the car. And when it gets hot, I sprint to the car and you just start pouring sweat. But I'm buying a whole bunch of equipment for me just so I can use it to my discretion whenever I want. And I'm gonna have to use it. My wife's gonna have to use it sooner or later because I mean, she's obese, but she's working with her church to get some of that weight down. And
oh, that's excellent.
she's more of a healthy eater than I am. I'm just now juicing up with the kale and the celery and all this other. I'm just doing green stuff, detoxing, just
Yes,
detoxing. And it was like, wow, like this is what I'll be doing. It's like, yeah, this is what I want you to do. I want you to juice 3 times a day and just
absolutely.
one meal a day, and then on Saturday I just want you just to detox. I'm like, I can't have nothing to eat. He's like, nope, you got to get that weight down. I'm like, okay, yeah, I gotta think about this.
You can
It's a
do it.
challenge.
You can do it. Just think about other things, and um, when you eat, just try to eat slow and savor it. And then once you do it for a while, your body will get used to it. Trust me, I've been there. And I'm not
I
going to sit here and tell you that it's easy because it isn't, but anything worth having isn't easy. And what you're doing actually is inspiring others who may be going through the same thing but may not want to share it. So that's what we're here for, actually, to help one another. So again, you're really inspiring somebody and you don't, or more, maybe more, and we don't even know it. And again, holidays are dangerous for people because I mean they
very
eat,
dangerous.
eat, eat, and then they sit down and go to sleep. Um, and you know that's a no-no. Again, enjoy yourself. You're supposed to, but do it in moderation. And I don't know if your doctor mentioned, you may want to ask him if you can do apple cider vinegar, like
Yeah, yeah.
salad. If you like salads, a kale salad. Try kale salad with onions if you like those. Um,
What is a kale salad?
where you get a bunch of organic raw kale that's cleaned, and you can put onions on it if you like. Tomatoes might have too much acid, so again, I would ask the doctor.
I'm allergic to tomatoes, so I can't do them.
Okay, well, get that out. Garlic. Do you like garlic?
I love garlic.
Do you like avocado?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, you can do kale, onion, garlic. You can either spritz it with a little bit of lemon or a little bit of apple cider vinegar if your doctor says you can do that. And there's your salad.
I'm afraid to ask, but what if I just get those regular green leaves that I'm used to eating so much?
The spinach.
Well, it's not spin. Well, you could call it spin. No, it's not spinach. It's just. Oh, well, I am dead wrong. It is spinach. Yes, 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 yes. I know I'm not supposed to have a lot of spinach. I'm not supposed to have a lot of spinach because it does something into your intestines, I think. But you can still have other types of greenery with it. So I was thinking about getting half spinach and half like regular salad from the grocery store. None of that stuff is, let's just face it, none of that stuff is organic. None of it is organic.
If you get it from the farmer's market, but again, you can still get it from the grocery store. Just make sure that you clean it really good. Yeah, I mean, any type of big leafy green. Turnip greens are good. Yeah, a mix. Some people enjoy a mix of spinach and kale together. But as long as you're getting your greens in, that's the important thing. Onions are good for you. Garlic is excellent. Try ginger if you can eat that.
Oh yes, 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 yes.
Slice some
Put
carrots
ginger in,
if you
I
like
usually put
carrots.
ginger in my tea. I have carrot juice. I had the carrot juice along with anything that was orange. I had anything that was green. I had anything that had beets in them. I had.
Beets are wonderful.
That-
Yes,
ugh. But
they are good.
I'm telling you, it was all in one. It was all in one juice. All in
Yeah,
one juice.
you can
I was
do that. But when you said carrot, try carrot and mango together for a smoothie. That is so good.
I've been there, and had that. It, it's
Yes. Oh my goodness.
it's an experience. It's an experience. I said I may not like these juices, but there are a couple of juices that I would pick randomly. So I had picked. I still picked detox, but I picked the sweet. This I think it was sweet something, and the other one was immunity. So
Oh,
you
so
have
you're
your
buying them?
immunity. Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were making them.
No, 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 no. A friend of mine wanted me to try his version of what he would call weed juices. OUI. And so I said, okay,
I've
I'll
had
try them.
those.
You had them?
Yes,
Are they
they're
are they
good.
good? They're real
I
good.
believe they're good. Yes, but I make my own smoothies from here. But sometimes when I'm out and I need to like drink something or say I'm feeling stiff and have to take some prednisone, and you cannot take prednisone on an empty stomach, I'll grab something like that. But those are actually good. And there's another gosh, I forgot the name of it. It's that one and another one that has maca, it has banana and cocoa in it that is extremely good and healthy. It's not cheap. None of those things are cheap, but they're very
No, no.
good and they're organic. So
Yes.
yeah, if you can learn how to make your own, you'd be surprised what you can come up with. And throw some walnuts in there. Walnuts are very good. And um, walnuts and almonds are healthy nuts that you can eat. You can throw them in your popcorn.
Stop buying. Let me guess. Stop buying the regular. Stop buying those peanuts with so much salt in them.
Absolutely, and that's another thing. Look on the labels of those. My cousin loves peanut butter. I told her that's fine, but turn it around and look at the label. She likes the
Add
crackers
the
with
labels.
peanut butter, and I'm like, oh my god. So it's like she doesn't listen,
You can
and
still eat. You can still eat those, but how much of it are you eating? Like instead of eating a whole peanut butter sandwich, eat half.
yeah, but see,
Eat
you know,
half of that.
she's like a nervous type eater, so she'll eat the whole daggone thing and then wonder why I don't feel so good. I feel a little bit lightheaded. I'm like, yeah, you probably done ran something up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
She's very active, don't get me wrong, but again, it's what you put in. And she
In right.
drinks an awful lot of water, but that sodium can do something to you.
I
So
thought.
just try to,
Well, I thought. Well, what you put in. Well, what did he say? What you put in is ultimately what you have to take out because it's toxic. So at one point or another, you're gonna have to take some of that sodium. You're gonna have to take the sodium out, and
yes.
you can't take it out with pop or any of these juices with so much sugar in them. No, you're gonna have to take it out with water eventually, alkaline water, not some of this,
Yes.
not the tap water, because tap water
Oh
just makes it
no.
worse.
No, leave the tap alone. I love
Now I can have the tap water because I have bought something online that if you put the tap water in there, it'll filter the tap water.
is it
It,
Brita?
I think it's called, but yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna put it in the chat. But yeah, now
it's
that's
it's
fine.
an
Or you boil
actual
it.
container. Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many things that you can do. But the most important thing is making sure that you get your water in, you get your leafy greens in, you get your fruits in, and definitely exercise. And if you are a believer, get your prayer in as well, and stay positive
Oh yes.
that you will
Oh
get
yes.
to a healthy level because like I said, once you get older, it's really hard to get weight off. And it took me some time. And my downfall was I had to have Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And I'm like, how is that affecting me? My doctor said it's not so much the coffee, but it's the flavoring. Once I cut that out, let
Hmm.
me tell you, I went through the withdrawals, the headaches. I felt so miserable. I was angry at everybody. If you looked at me the wrong way, you were getting an F bomb thrown your way. I didn't care who it was. You come up beside me with your music blasting, I would cuss you out. My cousin would laugh. She was like, somebody's going to blow your head off. But that withdrawal, it was no joke. Once I stopped that, I saw a significant difference. When you stop something cold turkey, it's no joke.
Sounds like just like my grandmother. Something that she would do. Start cussing out people, especially in traffic.
Yeah, that's a miserable feeling. You know, when you have the headache and you know where it's coming from. But at the same time, okay, either you want the headache or you want another day of life. So yeah, I don't even crave that anymore. And if I do, it's black coffee, which actually isn't bad for you, but it's not something I would do every day. I'd rather have raw ginger tea or turmeric tea,
Yes.
where you get raw turmeric root. Now, if you
With
do
a
that, you have to be
splash,
careful because it'll stain your fingers.
with
I'm sorry,
just
what you
this,
say?
what I would put, I would have ginger tea with just a splash of honey, just a splash of
Okay.
honey, and
What about
then
cinnamon?
I never tried it. Never
Try
tried it with
a little bit of cinnamon because that is supposed to have medicinal values. But again, check with your physician if you're able to do all of those things. But you can't go wrong with fruits and veggies. Just make sure that they're clean and you eat those in moderation too, because you don't want to sit there and eat a whole pint or a whole tin of berries in one day. You, again, you
because
just eat.
you're gonna get
Yeah,
yourself sick. Yeah,
yeah. So just eat
all in moderation.
and enjoy. Enjoy what you eat, but remember that you're eating to live, not living to eat. And that's what a
Well,
lot of people do.
and on that note, I definitely appreciate the conversation that we just had because now
Excellent. Me,
it's like a life of living is very very important and
it's
especially sharing.
precious.
It's precious. Instead of we like to share things with those that you know care to share with others about life itself, and I definitely appreciate that
Oh,
sharing
and I
that.
appreciate you jumping up on. So let me get my hind parts out of here and do what I need to do. And I don't know if I'm going to do my trivia now or not. The time of day it is, I may have to schedule it for later or maybe even tomorrow. But I'll definitely be doing my NFL picks tomorrow. And you all leave my Cowboys alone. That keep teasing me.
And we gonna make it. We gonna make it, and we definitely getting Odell. We getting Odell. Doggone.
We better. Or I'll disappear like some other person that did a while ago. But I won't mention that individual's name. But again, thank you so much for popping on. Thank you for that conversation
You're
last
welcome.
night with D. Jarrell. That was something else. Like I said, there were like three different conversations I was trying to listen to. All of them had something to offer, and that's the bottom line. As long as you can get something, you can glean something from it, then you're good. That's the end goal. So I hope
Yes,
to
ma'am.
hear and or see from you virtually and everyone else in the very near future.
Yes, ma'am. You will definitely see me. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Take care, be safe, be well, and everyone else, be healthier. Bye bye for now.